take in your game? Yeah, yes. Join up then.
And welcome back. We have 2 more series to go, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are just now being updated, Jaedong did defeat Nerchio, and he will now play Deer, who has defeated Leenock. And the winner of this will play Hasselhobbs for the final honors of joining Hyun in that round of 16 tomorrow to play for 100,000 frickin' bones. Rhett, how excited are you?
I'm really excited. This is a sick match. I mean, these guys played at BlizzCon last year. These guys, at one point or another, were probably considered the best Zerg and the best Protoss throughout last year. So undoubtedly, we're going to see a hell of a show between these 2 guys, and you know, it really could go either way. Both of them are so good. Deer looked a little bit shaky playing against Hyun, but then Jaedong lost to Hasselhobbs, who played pretty much the same builds like Deer did. So we'll have to see what Jaedong exactly learned from that series and how he's going to recuperate and change his plans and maybe take a note from Hyun and just be really, really crazy aggressive, because that seems to be the recipe for success in ZVP today, at least.
That's the kind of funny thing about Deer. Like, we've seen some pretty one-sided matchups today, and actually, to a certain extent, Deer was a part of a couple of them, but they were strange one-sided matchups. Like, I go back to that Frost game, and I gotta say, guys, some of the cleanest blink micro I've seen today was Deer on that map. Some of the best force fields I've seen today was Deer on that map. It's just that he made 1 or 2 misjudgments and got called out for it hard by Hyun, who was like a bull in a china shop. Like, he wasn't letting it to indecision. He was making a choice, and Deer did not make the right call. But Deer played pretty well, is the point I'm trying to make in a super long-winded way. So if you're a fan of Jaedong, if you're a part of Team Evil Geniuses like myself, you're a little bit worried because Deer still looks really scary despite getting spanked by Hyun. It's just a weird statement. Yeah,
and it's weird. Like, Hyun just owned everybody today, so I don't know how much we can actually take those matches into account.
That's true.
But here we are on Frost. And this is getting really excited, guys. There's only 1 spot left, and these guys are going to have to get rid of each other to even have a chance for that.
Yep.
And in the bottom left of Frost, we have the red Protoss player representing Mouse Sports. It is Deer.
And his opponents in the top right-hand side, raise your dongers. It's Evil Geniuses Jaedong. I got a question for you, Rhett. It's been posed in movies before. If you were to fight an exact clone of yourself, who would win? Well, guess what? If Deer wins this, Hasselhobbs and Deer will answer that question to a certain extent.
Well, they're not playing. They'll be answering that, yes, later on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, if you're right.
Now who's tired, son?
You think they're playing the same way in PvP as well?
No.
Are they just exact copies of each other's?
Joke that I'm reaching super hard for.
Hey, Deer once again going for the same opening that Hasselhobbs did on this map. Nexus first.
Yeah.
Blindly. And so far this tournament we have seen no 6 pools, no 9 pools, which is kind of like a missed opportunity. Jaedong and Hyun, normally both players quick to jump to that opportunity to take a quick win with an early pool, but Deer is going to get away with this fast gateway, and looks like Jaedong is going to go for the 3 hatch before pool, so playing very similar to Hyun here. But this is the first time on Frost that we're actually seeing cross positions, and I feel like this changes the game a lot. Aggression is probably a lot worse cross positions. There's just a lot more time for the Protoss, and Deer will see that Overlord, and now they know that they are cross positioned from each other.
He would have scouted the top one anyways, but yeah.
Yeah.
You had said earlier, if I was a good teammate of Jaedong, I would have talked to him. I did a little bit of coaching up with him in between the games, and told him basically that Mouse does, or that Deer does the same build every single time.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
You told him about the fast +1 third base? You actually told him that?
Oh yeah, I told him.
And he's just like, oh, Jeff, just let me play.
No. Jaedong, the coolest thing about Jaedong is that even if that's what he was thinking, he never says it. He's always, and I feel cool actually. In one of the first tournaments he played in StarCraft 2, when he came to EG, he played in this Kingston tournament in Vegas, and this was back when I think it was Wings of Liberty even actually. He was playing MC, and MC was killing him with Warp Prism, just warping in tens of zealots in his base over and over again, and Jaedong was doing like Broodlord and Fester. I was like, dude, you got to make 50 spine crawlers and spore crawlers in your bases. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he did it, and he won the whole tournament.
Yeah, I think I saw those games. I was thinking, wow, that's a lot of spine crawlers. So
yes.
I guess I have you to thank for that.
I like to think a little bit of that.
He also says in like every interview that you're his best friend.
I know.
So there's actually a strong bond between caster and player going on.
I'm like his father bear or something like that. Now, he's actually a really special guy.
It's a different build, Jeff.
God.
It's a Stargate.
So what we talked about is the build so far has been the same every single time. This will be a little bit different.
But there's a forge as well, and it kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
So if Jaedong actually goes with his Zergling and spots what's at the front, he might think that, hey, Jeff told me it's a fast third base. And then Phoenix come out of nowhere.
I bet
and
it
he's
still
gonna
is
be
a
like,
fast third base. It's just with Phoenix.
yeah.
What I really told him, though, and what I want to see is I told him he should probably on a 1v1 map do that hatch block strategy again that he did to JYP. And he said, thinking, which I think means I'll think about it. But that would be cool. Otherwise, he's still in okay position, especially if this Overlord well, okay, the Overlord sees the Phoenix, and that's a real one. He's like, wait a second, you're not a hallucination, you're hurting me. No.
Yeah, now Jaedong knows what he's playing against, and honestly, none of this matters too much. His build is perfectly capable of dealing with pretty much anything. He got the double gas going already. He's going to be able to get a fast lair. He's going to be able to get a ton of drones, and he's already pulling back most of his Overlords, getting them into safe positions. He went up to 4 Queens already, so he's quite prepared to deal with this fast air. He will lose 2 Overlords rather quick and lose map control right now. And we'll just have to see how fast exactly Deer wants to take a third Nexus. He might want to go... Normally you go robotics first, in case you get like a big Hydra attack, but then again, this is cross position, so he's probably totally safe to actually just put down the third Nexus right now.
Well, you say that, but I feel like that's... we also have to take into account that Jaedong's also a very aggressive Zerg, and Deer knows that. So he's going to scout first, see what he's up against, and then probably go for that third Nexus, which is not necessarily not what you said. I just worded that kind of strong, I guess. But the scary thing is that all this larva could turn into Speedlings pretty quick. Notice how there's a lot of larva sitting around. Do you see that?
There is a lot of larva. 14.
That's the sound I make in my head when I'm right. Every time.
Only 14 though, and
there'll be more. Oh, there'll be more.
He does get the robotics actually as a safety precaution, so this third Nexus is probably not going to be thrown down for a little bit, and by the time it is, the +1 will be finished, so Lynx will probably not be able to do too much.
By +1? Are you kidding me? You just wait until 400 right now, son. Watch.
Yeah, but by the time the Lynx will get there, the +1 should be finished. You can make that sound again for me if you like.
Well,
by the time the Lynx get there, the +1 will be finished. I'm expecting that.
Okay, but you have to say that just before it happens. Hydro stand 2, so it's going to be just a Ling Hydra timing attack, which is one of the ways you can punish.
Look at this, Jeff. The Lings are almost there. And how far along is +1, Jeff?
I don't know, actually. They might get there before.
No.
You need a good 20 seconds.
Come on, Chrono Boost that. Hey.
Chrono Boost it. They're waiting.
Deer actually got 6 Phoenix. 7 Phoenix,
10
actually.
seconds. Oh, they got there just before.
Okay. But, well, they're not going to get anything done, so
no, they're not.
Either way. But what do you think about this decision to get 7 Phoenix right now? It's a lot of Phoenix, and he already killed 13 workers, actually. He's getting a lot of work done with this.
He's killing a lot of workers, but... well, there's not much of a but there. Like, he will have 1 Colossus by the time the Hydras start making their way across the map. It's just kind of a question of can he get enough Hydras on the field to make that Colossus obsolete for the most part? Oh, he's going to Hive. That's...
Yeah, he actually scouted with his Overseer.
Yeah.
He saw everything. He saw the Twilight Council, he saw the Robotics Bay, and I guess in this game he just decided he wants to deal with this with Roach, Hydra, Viper. Also getting that Roach Warren now. And this is kind of a really old HOTS strategy that we don't see that much anymore, like straight into Hive. Some kind of Roach, Hydra, Viper timing. But because we don't see it that often, it might actually throw Deer off guard. And
I like it. It's also tough for him because he went Stargate with Phoenix up to 7, like you asked. And I really didn't answer. I apologize. My brain got lost a little bit there. I like that number, typically, when you have the control of Deer. Then Colossus to take into account the Hydra. But now he's going to scout the Hive here in a moment, or not.
He hasn't seen it yet. It's really important for him to see it. If you're playing against this and you don't realize it and your Templars are too late, you just instantly lose the game pretty much because all your Colossus get abducted. So right now, he does have an hallucinated Phoenix going into the main base. And it's up to Jaedong. I think he saw it, but he needs to block it with his Hydras, but it doesn't look like he's actually pulling back. And now, there are 2 Queens and a Spore there. So this might actually get taken out.
Yeah, actually, just the 2 Queens and a Spore will stop it, right?
Yep, he won't see it. This is really good for Jaedong right now.
It's super fast, too. This is a 11:30 Hive, now with Roach support. And the Phoenix, while they did kill a grip of Harvesters earlier on, have not done much since then. And this is the weirdest move out. I have to believe he's just grabbing the tower. He can't be going for the 4th.
He might be going for the 4th and then possibly recall if he has to.
There's the Mothership Core is way behind. I guess they'll try to get over there in time. Oh, okay, there's Stalkers to the bottom map too. It's not quite as small of an army as I think, but yeah, look, there's the Hydras right there. Like,
and 17 roaches on. This is like playing with fire for Deer, but he does get the drones there already, and now the Mothership Core is super close. So
super close to dying, maybe.
The Phoenix. The Phoenix are. The Vipers. He does get the Mothership Core. Now the whole army is in trouble.
Yep.
And there's
at what cost?
One more
at
pool.
what cost? I asked you the cast rage question. He didn't even get the 4th. He just got the drones.
And Deer trying his best to back off right now. There's still 1 Abduct left on that Viper.
Freaking roaches.
There's a lot of Stalkers now though too, and they have Blink.
Yeah, this is not quite as one-sided as it could have been. Phoenix picking up a couple units there.
The Vipers are coming in, but these Stalkers are doing a pretty good job against his Roach Hydra. And the Colossus will get picked off. But actually, I think this is a lot better for Deer than it was if he would have been fighting at his own base. And all the Roaches are being taken out. And Jaedong is losing a lot of momentum, just wasting his units right here.
17 Roaches being made here. Do these Roaches even have speed? I know that's kind of a silly question to think out loud. Let's see.
This is kind of a crazy turn of events, because like if you think about the 2 builds against each other, and Roach Hydra Viper against like 2 Sentry, 1 Colossus move out, but somehow Deer warps in enough Stalkers and just like takes the angle out of Jaedong's attack. But this is a nicer round. Oh, this is so many Roaches. Yeah, this
could have been so much better. There was a whole Colossus exposed. There we go. He does get it, but there's so many Stalkers here. So many Stalkers.
Yeah, and these upgrades are really helping out Deer. Already up to 2-1. And this is not really good trades for Deer, but at the same time, he's fighting away so far away from his own base that by the time Jaedong will attack, and he actually pushes back the Roaches with just Stalkers. The 4th has died in the meanwhile, and Deer's looking really, really good in this game so far.
I don't know how he does it, too. These are the weird games where we watch it, and I'm like, wait a second. Because he fought outside of his base that he otherwise would have like used a Photon Overcharge at, this attack gets held off better? Like, as you say that seems weird, but that is correct. That's how it played out.
Like Jaedong wasn't at the critical mass yet of Roach Hydra to fight, but he had to defend his 4th, so he fought with like small groups of units at a time.
Yep.
And that's why it just worked out way better for Deer. Now Deer is just randomly standing inside of Jaedong's 3rd base with a few Stalkers and taking out a lot of drones, and Jaedong not really responding. I guess there's not much he can do. Oh,
that was buying his attention over there.
My bad, I missed that.
And now we've got some units on creep again. Still, I mean, it's receding, dying creep, but they're there. Trapping a few Stalkers. But behind this...
Deer's up to 76 probes. He's got his 4th Nexus complete. He's getting +3 on the way. He's got a nice, healthy account of Immortals, Stalkers, and Sentries at home. Getting another Robotics now and adding more Colossus. And this is looking really hard for Jaedong. I mean, he's equal supply. He's down income a lot.
Yeah, he's in shambles. He's got, what is that, 5 Hydras on the right side that he might have forgot about as well. It's kind of a significant chunk of his army.
Yeah.
Just
Was
chilling.
it a War Prism harassing in the main there?
Yeah, it's dead now,
taken out?
Like.
Okay.
He was in deep red health there for a moment. Yeah, it's even 3. That's the 2nd armor upgrade for Deer. He just doesn't miss a beat. Like, he only has 1 forge. He's not a big 2 forge guy in this matchup. But he just does not stop chrono boosting it, and he doesn't miss a beat. So it's alarmingly fast how well he's completing these upgrades. He's got 3 attack, and that's his 2nd armor already.
And these Zealots on the right side were warped in to possibly cancel the 4th base, but catch some Roaches on the way to harass as well. And this is actually fine for Deer to trade like this. And he's just moving out into the middle of the map. He still thinks that the 4th base might be on the right side, but it's not. He's going all the way with his Stalkers to find those Roaches and kill them.
Yeah.
Because he can.
He wants these Roaches to die for their crimes. He's going to pull over here and try to do exactly that. In fact, the Observer somehow still alive in the middle of the map, scouting out that. Looks like Jaedong wants to respond, but I got to tell you, Jaedong's army is once again not necessarily the top dog on the field. It does have a couple of Vipers out there, but Vipers...
3 full energy Vipers. So he's going to have like 1 big attack where he has to do something with Blinding Clouds and Abducts.
Yeah.
But Deer is like looking in a great position. He's maxed out himself, but he doesn't really have... He has 2 Templars with his army, so 2 feedbacks for 2 Vipers. If he does that well... And right now, here we go. The Vipers are coming in from the back.
It's not enough.
Nice Blinding Clouds, actually.
Yeah, that's cool. It's just he doesn't have the units, man. These upgrades, he's getting sandwiched up against the force fields. The Blinding Clouds were a nice idea. He's thinned out the units. It's not. I mean, this is, I feel like, about as good as he could have done here.
Yeah, this was a nice fight for Jaedong, but when you're this far behind, it's just not enough.
And meanwhile, there's a Zealot Warp in over here at that fourth base, or third base, excuse me. And it looks like this multitasking of Deer is really just chopping down Jaedong. He's having a tough time keeping up with this. He's going to pull back here and possibly save the third for now. Yep, he does. But in doing so, the fourth is about to be attacked.
And Deer doesn't even care. He's got the Watchtower with 1 Colossus, 1 Immortal, but the Blinkstalker's up to the fourth, just taking out the hand tree so fast. Meanwhile, Deer's taking a fifth base. He must feel in total control of this game right now. He has nothing to fear.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how much he loses. There's Cannons and Colossus defending his own fourth base, and Jaedong has to back off. Even 2 Immortals joining the fray right now. And these Blinkstalkers are still having a field day in Jaedong's base.
Yep, picking off drones and still trying to go about their business here. Going back to that base that was killed by said Stalkers. And they're going to probably blink to the middle map. And even if every single one of them died to these Roaches and Hydras, which they won't, the Stalkers should outrun it. Like you said, the Deer's in such a fantastic place that he just can come back. And he's going to kill this base as well, this third base down here. The Zealot Warpin that wrapped around from that bottom pylon. And that's it. Jaedong's had enough. Deer takes game number 1 to see who gets to move on and play Hasselhoffs. And this is a pretty cool game back and forth like this.
Yeah.
It all goes back to that attack at the fourth base where Jaedong wasn't quite ready to defend, but leapt at the opportunity anyways, and I think it cost him.
I don't understand the decision to take that fourth, which is so close to Deer, when he could have taken the one up there, which is so far away from Deer.
He thought he would be the aggressor, to be honest with you, is probably what he was thinking.
But in either case, that base is so much more protected also later on in the game. Yeah. And if he had actually taken that base, he wouldn't have had to rush a defense. And he could have just been like, okay, Deer, go ahead and move out. I'll just wait until I have a ton of Roach, Hydra, and Vipers, and hopefully hit before you have Templars. And then his timing attack becomes really potent. But the way he had to rush his defense with just a few Hydras and Lings because he was saving so much gas for his Hive and his Vipers, just worked out really well for Deer, and he kind of scores an easy win there with that. He didn't look in trouble at all the whole match.
No. I mean, the fights were kind of intense, but the fights were never at Deer's bases. He was always very safe inside of his base, and he was always expanding behind those fights. So Jaedong would be trading his army off of 3 bases for Deer's off of 4 going on 5, like almost every single time they fought. So Deer was just dangling that carrot in front of him and letting him think that they were anywhere close in terms of economy. Really well played by Deer, and honestly, like I said earlier, that's been Deer. Deer did not play poorly against Hyun. It's just he got Hyun'd pretty hard.
Yeah, he kind of got Hyun tefled.
Yeah, tefled a little bit.
Same thing. But now Jaedong, he's really on the ropes. I mean, one more loss, he's out of IEM Katowice for good, and he has no more chance at the $100,000. And a player Jaedong's caliber, we did not really expect that kind of result. We expect him to go through this open bracket, no matter how hard it was, because he's such a high caliber player. But recently, it just hasn't been able to show the same kind of results that he was showing towards the end of last year. And he's really going to have to step it up here against Deer, because Deer just looked in total control.
Yeah.
That whole game. Going back to the Phoenix Colossus, straying away from the Hasselhoffs build, I guess we can call it.
Yeah, or the Deer build, but yeah. It's funny because as you say that, you're not wrong. The tournaments he's played in this year, he's bounced out fairly early on. That's happened a few times. If he were to lose here, certainly he did not come here to be like, well, I made top 4 of the open bracket. That's not his objective at all. But Jaedong is the peace of mind I always have when he plays and wins or loses. It's that he wants to win more than anybody else wants him to win. Like, I don't see him go in the booth and I don't like bite my nails and worry like, oh no, is Jaedong motivated to win? Does he care? This guy cares more than any 10 min I could name. So if he does lose here, that'll be yet again another hard loss and a learning step for him. But it's built him into the guy that made so many great runs last year and finally won a couple tournaments even at the very beginning of this year. So he's got what it takes, but he's going to have to come back against Deer. He's going to have to win 2 in a row. That ain't easy.
And he's going to have to do it on Alterzim Stronghold, which I think is a map that Deer probably feels pretty comfortable on going into this match. And Jaedong's played some very tough games on this map before. But I think that, like we talked about earlier, it's just a map that for Protoss is pretty good because you get so much time to deal with whatever Zerg is doing. You have the Warp-in mechanic, which kind of closes the map only for the Protoss race. Makes it a closer map. And we'll have to see what Jaedong wants to do. He was playing Roach Hydra Brute Lord against Hasselhoffs on this map. if he does the same thing against Deer, I think he's going to have a hard time.
And you can tell him to invite me now.
I'm sure that will.
Because I'm tired of waiting. I want to get this thing going.
Well, not even Jaedong is in the game yet, so they will get you.
They better. They're talking behind his back, I can tell. I can feel it. Again, thank you all for joining us and for hanging out. It's been a long broadcast, and we're coming down to the final few matches. And as Rhett said earlier, that only means better and better StarCraft. And again, of course, join us for tomorrow when the real big show starts in Katowice, Poland. We'll be joined by the rest of the gang, Apollo, Artosis, Kalaris, Todd, Funka
StarCraft
is observing.
Kalaris.
Red Eyes there. There's a CSGO tournament. There's going to be a LOL tournament. It's going to be absolutely insane. And I know that Polish crowd, like I said, last year they tore the roof down with their excitement. It's going to be really, really cool. And that really contributes to the feel of the tournament. So I am selfishly very excited to experience that because I know with some of these DreamHack crowds and BlizzCon had an unreal crowd. It makes the event. It really is cool to play in front of an appreciative, awesome audience. Definitely.
And yeah, Poland's always proven to be exactly that audience. Even 3 years ago when I was playing there for the European Championships, they've always been super loud and super excited.
Is that where that's where you beat Naniwa?
Yeah.
That was in Poland?
That was in Poland, yeah.
I did not know that.
Good memories.
I remember watching that. It was amazing. You guys were on like a little short stage, right?
Yeah, we were like in a movie theater actually.
That's what it was, yeah.
It was like a pretty large movie theater. It was like really cozy and compact, and the Polish crowd was just insane, so.
To date, that was one of the strangest and most awkward award ceremonies I've ever watched.
Really? I don't remember much about it. What was it? Nani was just really pissed, right?
He was so upset that he lost. And I think this is cool, by the way. I don't bring this up to tease him at all. I like that he's kind of like a Jaedong in the sense that, yeah, he's got anger issues, but he cares so much. Nobody will ever question that. He was so mad that he lost that when Carmack put his arm around him and said, like, he said something to the effect of, like, you played really well, second place isn't that bad. Naniwa was so mad that he cried. He was like, and he couldn't help but to be like physically repulsed by how outrageous that comment was to him. And again, I saw that and it looked terrifying. It looked ridiculous, but I was like, respect, Naniwa. Respect that second place pisses you off so much that you like could not contain your fury. I liked that. That was cool. But the award ceremony itself was weird because he was so pissed. You were happy but trying to hide it out of like respect or politeness or something.
No, because I don't show emotion. Because I'm European.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's it.
The Dutchmen show emotion, though, I think, don't they?
Do we?
Grubby, like, cried.
Grubby, yes. Grubby does. Grubby actually
cries.
does. He's a master of showing emotion.
He cried. He hit his face after he beat Nurchio. Remember that moment?
Yes, I remember that as well.
On stage, then shook his hand.
What was that supposed to mean again?
Actors.
Oh, like you don't want to insult your opponent by being overly happy or something.
Which
like
is
that.
right.
Yeah.
I would be so pissed if somebody ripped open the door. It's like, ha ha, good game, and then you're like, get out of here, go celebrate alone.
But we are in the game, guys. On Alterzim, and in the top right we have the guy who's down 0-1 and facing elimination in the open bracket already. It's Evil Genius's Jaedong.
And his opponent, leading 1-0, it's Mao's Deer. Now, we have that 3-hatch before pool again. I feel like on Alterzim, how do we say this? I'm just going to mumble it every time.
Try it again.
Alterzim?
Alterzim.
Alterzim.
Yes.
I feel like that's really predictable, not only for Jaedong, but for Zerg. So I ponder you this. Does our Protoss friend shake it up? Does he do something different?
Well, he's actually playing with a Zealot right now. It looks like he's taking the safe route that he doesn't want to die to any early pool stuff. So I think this, once again, is working out quite well for Jaedong.
Yeah.
And yeah, Deer.
He even canceled the Zealot. Okay, so he was seeing if it would come in there at that time.
Yeah. Well, this actually can really cost you because it could come in a little bit later just because the map is so big and someone scouts you late. But still, I think that's the idea there, that you play like that. And he will be able to get the Mothership Core soon enough. He's not getting it so far, though. He's actually playing really greedy himself.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of probes.
But Protoss will lose, in my opinion, unless he takes like a third Nexus right now. They lose in the greed battle. I like what Jaedong did more. He did gas before spawning pool as well.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to get speed really fast. And if Deer would want to take a very fast third Nexus, then the speed kicks in so early that he can actually Jaedong can actually do something about it. And look at that. Once again, it's a forge.
I'm liking
Deer.
what we're seeing from Jaedong. I think that he is. I think you just read him like a book read. I think the plan is to jump on that fast third, and he's going to confirm that here. He's pulling in. Unfortunately, he'll lose this overload if he doesn't back away now to the Sentry. Still no Mothership Core,
Sentry's
though.
killed pretty slow.
Right?
He's going to be fine. Pulls
Still
away
no
just-
Mothership Core? That's kind of weird, actually, at this point, right? Is
No.
it Stargate, then?
No, I think it's just really greedy. Mass chrono boost on probes type of play from
Oh, there it
Deer
is. You're right.
Getting it as late as fully saturating his main base. I like this touch from Deer. It's his way of playing extremely greedy. It's not as good as 3 hatch before pool, but
Yeah.
it's a nice touch.
All right. If this happens, I don't even know what sound I'll make, but if Jaedong Cheese wins this one with this attack on the third, and then next game hatch blocks for the win on a 1v1 map,
then I think that you can pretty much be credited for...
do you think it would be a fair claim if he then goes on to win the tournament that I just take like a cool 20K from him?
20%. That's not that bad.
That's not bad in terms of a stake, I don't think. It's like 10K per strategy. It's not bad at all.
And look at that. There's this super fast third base, and Jaedong responds by making 12 links. I still feel like it might be a little too late because there's already going to be a cannon.
It should be an absolute metric shit ton of links, though, I think.
Yeah, it needs to be like 30 links. Not
Yeah, I
just
think after
14.
these overlords clear. Look at all the larvae just sitting around. Yeah, 16 more.
Okay, so this is a respectable number of Zerglings, and
Respectable. And this cannon, by the way,
it's pretty exposed.
it's pretty exposed.
It's not walled off like it normally is between 2 pylons.
Nope. And if those sentries come down the ramp, which I feel like they'll be compelled to do, see? This is a bit of a feint. There's more Zerglings behind this, so they'll get the cannon.
Cancel the Nexus.
Oh,
This
he's
is-
gonna Deer's waffling. He's like, ah, I don't know. Is that really what you're doing?
But this Nexus will finish, actually.
Look at the mini map.
Yeah, but Nexus...
Zerglings.
With Photon Overcharge, I do feel like Deer does have a fighting chance against this.
Yeah.
He
It's
needs
not
force
as
fields right
scary.
now.
I love that pylon. Or no, that's another cannon he made.
There's the Photon Overcharge. Bam. And now he
So
just
many
needs a
links.
lot of force fields. This
Oh,
Nexus
they're
is going
stuck!
down so fast.
Oh, the Nexus is dead. And now the sentries are dead. Or he runs up in the base. Sentries are probably the better kill here. He could have gone in the base, though, unbeknownst to him. In fact, he's not going to get that many sentries here. Deer continues to be amazing. I love him.
Yeah, actually, right now it's 46 probes against 42 drones. So if he just retakes this Nexus, then I feel like because of his efficiency defending the links and even keeping 4 out of 5 sentries alive,
he's not that behind.
I still
if at
think it's
all.
a pretty good position for him. And
I agree. He's not in that bad a shape at all. I do like the 1-1 melee upgrades we're seeing from Jaedong. I like what that's posing.
And
Mass link play here is pretty cool.
yeah, and Deer is responding by actually, he went up to 6 gateways, so that looks to be pretty aggressive, actually. He doesn't have a robo, he doesn't really have any tech at all.
5 gateways. Not to be super
Yes,
nitpicky.
5,
but
yeah.
That is technically
It's actually
exactly
a
how many.
difference, though.
Yeah.
Because 5 is not necessarily means you have to attack.
It's more defensive, I think. Yeah. Jaedong with no 4th base, though. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. That was about as cost-effectively held as he possibly could. Had he lost the sentries, I think it's a different game. But he had a good 4 or 5 survive. I mean,
Yeah, and they're building up energy slowly, and they're just going to be that
Yeah.
much more effective. And he's getting another 2 cannons, 1 on the ramp, 1 on the third. So he's going to be able to just get up to 3 bases, and he's got his +2 attack on the way. He's ahead on upgrades. He's got that Dark Shrine, which I don't think has been scouted. No, it has not been, and that could create a bit of a problem for Jaedong if he doesn't catch it in time.
And we got the pylon.
The pylon on the south side of the map.
coming down. Yeah.
This pylon also will not be found, so...
Overseer has a chance to spot this. Sees the gateways. Doesn't see any tech. Are you getting curious, Jaedong? Yes, he is. Go in a little bit deeper. Enhance.
The Stalkers will actually get it before
Enhance.
he finds anything at all.
Yeah, he's not going to see anything. Double robo, by the way. Ooh, wow. Stalker's lost interest. That's a little
Where's
bit
the double
unfortunate.
robo? Alright,
Inside that main.
Did Jaedong see that?
Nope.
No, so Jaedong really doesn't know much at all now.
No, but he has the Overseer still, so there's still a good chance that he can get more.
But these DTs are about to be warped in, Jeff.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
Let's see how many he goes for.
3, 4.
4.
Wow.
Good lord.
If he just waltzes into the main base, the natural, and the third at once, it's going to be such a pain for Jaedong.
Oh, yeah.
But
Classic.
he might be able to see it
6.
pass by his roaches.
That's 60
Will he see it? He's not moving back yet.
Yeah, he is.
Now he is. And he's morphing 3 Overseers, but still, that is so many DTs.
Yeah, there's a lot of DTs. But there's 2 ways to... I mean,
the
if
fourth will get
Jaedong
cancelled.
noticing this could turn that into a bad thing, by the way. They're attacking the hatchery. They're not going to get that hatchery, by the way. unless Jaedong really messes this up.
And Deer did a really good job queuing up drones with his DT, so he doesn't have to pay full attention. The 4th base got killed without a cancel. This hatchery is getting super low. And 13 drones have been killed. 14 drones.
Yeah, I mean, it's
16 drones, wow. 17 drones.
pretty good.
Only 52 are left against 71 probes. Oh my god. It's looking so scary for Jaedong already, losing that 4th. Getting a Spire right now, but his bank is not huge. And he's now back up to 70 drones, but that was a huge blow. Like, his 4th should have been done.
Yeah, that 20 seconds where he was behind was brutal. Then Zerg. The other way to look at this, though, Rhett, is that was 7 DTs, man. That's a lot.
True, but yeah, Deer's rich. He's got a huge economy. He's taking a 4th base. He's kind of vulnerable right now to an attack, but I think Jaedong is gonna... Actually, Jaedong just got an infestation pit as well, and he's getting 32 more lings, so... But I don't know if Jaedong will actually attack right now.
No, I think this is like a weird Ultras build or something, which is...
He's getting the flyer attacks, though, for his Spire.
Interesting. I don't know. A lot of Zerglings.
Yeah, Deer's army is not that big, so Deer should be careful right here.
Jaedong's just going to kind of accidentally be like, wait a second, that army's really not that big. Oh, this is terrible. He needed to recall out of there. He's losing all the sentries.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a recall at all, so... He'll be able to warp in a bunch of stuff. This cannon will finish up. So like that's nice. And there's 2 DTs and there's no Overseer, so... Deer actually will be fine against this. But still, losing these sentries is rough. And if he does not scout any kind of Muta switch... There's 1,500 gas, Jeff, so...
Yeah.
That's potentially a lot of Mutas. Yeah. There's no minerals for Jaedong, and his supply is rapidly dropping. He's also down to 65 probes. Again, there's been something at the natural happening.
In the main.
25 drones total killed. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Was that just DTs or Zealots? Or?
I didn't see. Has the stink of Zealots, though. Yeah. Surprised he hasn't dropped the 3rd. It was at very low health. But something happened at that lair natural. But Jaedong stabilized pretty okay.
Back up to 70 drones. He's making 8 Mutas. He's got so much gas from Mutas. And he did kill a lot of sentries once again. So
Deer's making 4, like he's going up to 4 Colossus right now. Oh, wait, he canceled them, though. Or did they just pop out?
Well, Deer doesn't know.
No, yeah, they just popped out. 4 Colossus.
Deer doesn't know about the Mutas at all.
No, and he's going charge. It's interesting. It's interesting.
He is getting a lot of cannons.
Where's the Observer? Does Deer see in the production? No, that whole half the map is dark. And he doesn't have any... He has 1 sentry, maybe 2. No, just 1.
He is getting a ton of cannons, though. There's 3 cannons in the main base.
And he's warped in 7 Stalkers. I don't know. Yeah, he's got a...
I think he's going to go for the approach where if there is Mutas, because he did so much economic damage, he'll just attack. And now the Mutas actually kill the War Prism. So now Deer knows that Mutas are coming. And I feel like instead of getting Mass Phoenix, he should just get Mass Stalkers and go for a timing in this game.
This is a lot of Mutalisk, though. And another War Prism gets spotted, but I don't know if Jaedong saw that.
Oh, he is getting 2 Stargates now. He has so many Stalkers as well, though.
Yeah.
It's 23 Mutas and 20 Stalkers. Actually, it's a lot of Mutas for Jaedong.
Yeah, he's definitely just going to go hardcore Mutalisk right at this point in time, even +2 flyer attack. For
another War Prism gets picked off.
4 bases, though, for Protoss, by the way, can absolutely afford any number of, well, 2 to 3 Stargates. I guess any number is a little excessive, but my point is, he will very coolly finish these Stargates, start making Phoenix, and then also add a Fleet Beacon. Like, you can afford that at 3 bases. He's got it at 2 here, even +1 there on the range attack, or air attack, excuse me.
And Jaedong's going to hit this base, actually, before most of the cannons are done. So this is a little bit scary for Deer. He has to come back fast. Luckily, his army is not too far away, and he will just lose a pylon before forcing Jaedong to back off. And now the Phoenix production has begun. There's no Fleet Beacon.
No. I've noticed this from Korean players. They'll hesitate with that because they want to see if the Muta count continues to rise before they commit that much resources to it, I guess. I get that at 3 bases. At 4 bases, I think it's a little bit too safe to do that because if you look at this number of Mutalisks, you shouldn't look at that and say, oh, he's just casually going Mutalist. No, that's 20 plus Mutalisks. That's an absolute crap ton of them.
Yeah, you can definitely get a Fleet Beacon against this. And behind this, Jaedong is getting the Hive, so it doesn't look like he wants to...
No, they don't fit. Oh, they do fit.
They do get in.
Oh, they just barely fit
big.
in. That's weird. Yeah, and the Mutalisks could actually continue to work on that 4th base, but they're going to pull back. Oh, all kinds of lean counterattack here now with the natural as well. Some Zealots coming down to intercept, but they're on move command. They're not doing much, if anything, at all. Meatless are going to find some Stalkers in the middle of the field, and they might actually go to battle with them. It looks like they will.
Yeah, and this is actually a pretty good fight for Jaedong. Not all of his Stalkers are here, and he's going to be able to take all of these out. But there come the Phoenix now, coming into the battle, and this is a pretty okay trade, I think, for Jaedong. But all these mutas are so low.
Yeah, so low.
And Deer's going to be able to chase these. And now all the mutas are dying.
Yeah.
There are 50 lings on the production tab, though, and Jaedong actually killed 26 workers with that attack, but there's still 66
He paid for it in
probes.
blood, though. So. Yeah. Their supplies have closed up. 4 Colossus are going to make any number of those Zerglings look absolutely ridiculously silly. They're very well upgraded, but so is that Protoss army. And he's still actually making Mutilus and Corruptors, but having reset his Mutilus count like that.
Yeah, this is
again,
a lot of Corruptors on the way. So many Corruptors. But only 8 mutas left. So yeah, that's not too deadly at all.
Nope.
Deer needs to gather his forces and go for a big go right now. I think, pretty sure he done wins the game.
Now more Void Rays coming out, by the way, as well, which is a great call. Not going crazy on the Phoenix here. He's not going to face a crazy number of Mutilus, at least anytime too terribly soon. It's going to be a lot of Corruptors. And if you have Void Rays to tie up those Corruptors, you're in great shape.
Yeah, it's going to be about 15 or 16 Corruptors even, which is quite an insane amount. And Jaedong is still just on 4 gases, so he's not going to be able to get that many. He's actually getting roaches right now. I don't like that decision at all.
Nope. I think the longer the game goes, if you're making roaches, you're dying in one way or another.
Yeah.
You're dying because you're making them, or you're dying because you had to make them to defend or something like that. But even that's just a terrible place to be.
And Deer just happily continues on expanding. For some reason, he's rather reluctant to attack. He does have some nice Eld harass on the 5th base, but it will get cleaned up.
Okay, now this is kind of weird. The Phoenix are being a little bit overly aggressive. They're out here.
They're mostly just seeing what units are coming out for Jaedong, I think.
Yeah. He sees that he's still cool to continue to make Void Rays, I guess.
And not get range, yeah.
It's interesting, though. Archons are going to have to be added to the mix. Temple Archive did finish, so I'm sure that is the plan for our Protoss player. But if not, I mean, Void Rays are terrible against Mutilus. You could end up seeing a Mutilus resurgence, basically.
Sling's attacks are working out nicely. This base will get cancelled. And once again, there's a few roaches trying to run into the natural, but met by 5 Void Rays, and that's a scary thing to see if you're Jaedong here. Yeah. 2 Archons being added, 2 more Void Rays, and this is pretty much the ultimate army that Deer could possibly want.
DT's heading to that 4th base over here, and there's no detection again, so Jaedong probably not going to have a good time there.
Nope, and things are looking worse and worse.
Never mind. I didn't see where that Overseer was. They do end up holding that off.
But the drones just died again at the 5th. And the Phoenix have showed up once again at the 4th to kill another number of drones. A total of 38 have been killed already.
Yikes. Yeah, and look at these Phoenix. They're just worth their weight in gold. Poor Jaedong. He's limping along, trying to make a game of it, but he is so far behind. Deer has done a fantastic job of massing his army, kind of recouping his losses. That Ling counterattack did throw things into disarray for a second there, but I feel like the big mistake was trying to fight with those Stalkers that were so well upgraded. By sticking around like that, he lost his big haymaker.
Yeah,
if he's building on those Mutilus and gets like 50 of them, because Stalkers don't really matter, you know, like who cares? You're not worried about those, but when you stay and fight and then the Phoenix come in and contribute to the fight, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it was a bad fight for him for sure. And now Deer is looking to punish all the economic damage he has accumulated over time. He knows that his army should be far too large for Jaedong to deal with right now. He's trying to get an Ultralisk Cavern and getting the upgrades, but Deer's getting ready to attack. And what does Jaedong really have? 12 Corruptors, 21 Roaches, which are totally useless, and trying to counterattack of some sorts. But even if he does kill the 5th base, like, Deer has another 4 bases left, so really Deer is totally fine. And Deer...
It'll always just warp in DTs every time to respond to this.
He will kill that
base. Oh, no, wait, there's a bunch of Zealots down there as well, DTs. Stalkers are trying to attack that 5th base, like you said, and there are actually Spineclaws there to probably stop us, as well as the Roaches. But that Void Ray Cloud with Archons is nigh invincible with these Colossus. Like, I don't know what Jaedong could possibly send into that and hope to have come out alive. There's some Infestors, I guess.
Yeah, just 4, though. It's never going to be enough. And here Jaedong actually goes with his Corruptors and his Mutas, but wow. Everything just dies so fast.
Just the splash damage alone, basically.
And the Stalkers did end up killing the Roaches and the Spines at that 5th base.
And the 5th base of the Protoss get defended. Yeah. Yeah, everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Jaedong, you played a good tournament, buddy. This is not your tournament, though. Unfortunately, we do see Deer monster moding his way to go face his teammate. This will be the last hurrah. These Metalists are the best thing that Jaedong could muster. But again, the splash damage combined with even just what the Void Rays frickin' do, they melt as well.
Void Ray Archon's pretty good against his air mix. And
pretty good against everything. GG. And that's it for the Zerg hero, Jaedong. He will tap out, and Deer will move on. He's going to play Haswabs. Winner of that will join Hyun in that top 16 bracket to be played out. Well, to start getting played tomorrow. I know. Is it all 3 days that we do?
Yeah, it's the round of 16 tomorrow. Then it's the quarterfinal and the semifinal on Saturday. And the grand final on Sunday.
Very
so
cool.
StarCraft action every single day from Katowice. But sad for Jaedong. I'm sure a lot of people are really sad to see him lose here.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for him, but Deer played a really good game, and now we'll have to see which one of the clones is the better version.
Well, you know, he played well. He lost. It was 1-2, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
It was, yeah.
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 I don't know why.
No.
Or was it 0-2?
Deer 2-0. But everything else Jaedong played
right.
Was pretty much 1-2.
I like the strategies. You know what? I thought it was 1-2 just because I wrote off the game as a win when he went speedling against that fast third. I was like, okay, it's just going to win from here.
On any other map, that would have probably been a win, but on Alterzim, you just have so much time to still come back into the game. And he also defended really well.
Give credit where credit's due. I don't even know if it's the map's fault. I thought Deer did a fantastic job defending. He had a tough time deciding whether or not he wanted to go down there to do it, but he did. And then he tucked the sentries in behind the minerals and cast just enough force fields to thin out the Zerglings to the point where the Nexus died, but it was enough Zerglings that died that was kind of
so
fair.
Many larvae spent on units instead of drones, and that turned out to be quite a good trade for him. And he played pretty brilliantly after that to close out that series into a win. Congrats to him.
Big congrats. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head into our final game of the night for us, morning for some of you, whatever it is. This will be the open bracket final. To determine who joins Hyun. But first, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So if you don't mind, get up, stretch your legs, drink some water, do exercises, stay in school, and don't do drugs. And when we come back, we're going to see Haswabs against Deer.